Today, let's discuss some new insights into how to use our brains. In a sense, most people in modern society are already cognitive workers, but our understanding of how to use the brain is just beginning. In recent years, the field of neuroscience has advanced rapidly, with better observation tools like real-time brain imaging and brain-machine interfaces, cross-comparisons with computer and AI research, and abundant funding and projects. We are in a golden age of progress. We've previously explored the topic of consciousness, and just when I thought I'd done extensive research, I stumbled upon another fascinating book. This book is The Extended Mind. The Power of Thinking Outside the Brain by science writer Annie Murphy Paul. The English title alone doesn't capture its novelty and value. The first direct impact this book had on me was that halfway through reading it, I promptly ordered a larger monitor. Although I was already using a 32-inch display for reading ebooks, Paul's compelling evidence showed that larger screens enhance brain performance. I felt the need to create a screen wall. The core idea of this book is that the brain is not an isolated thinking machine. Its performance is profoundly influenced by the body, surrounding environment, and other people. Compare this to a computer. Computers consistently produce the same results as long as they're operational. They won't miscalculate your accounts because of rain, or occasionally throw a tantrum to provide you with a prettier output. They are reliable and steadfast machines. However, the human brain is different. It has states. When the brain is in a good state, you can experience bursts of inspiration and efficiently engage in creative work. When it's not, even the simplest knowledge may slip your memory. Artists and scientists have long recognized the importance of paying attention to the brain state, similar to how athletes understand that their physical condition significantly affects their performance. Most people, however, didn't pay much attention to the brain state, perhaps because it wasn't apparent without measurement tools, or because their usual mental workload wasn't high. If your job demands high mental workload, you need to be highly sensitive to your environment and mood. Let's start with why you need a large screen. Most work involves text operations, and when you concentrate on textual tasks, your field of vision on the screen is a small area. So, why does having a large screen matter? Imagine you're writing a report, and you need to refer to various data charts. Your computer screen may have several windows open. A text editor, a web browser, data files, and more. There are two ways to interact with these windows. If you have a small screen, you switch between windows. This is easy. You use keyboard shortcuts to navigate. Your body, head, and eyes don't need to move much. Different windows just appear in front of your eyes. But if you have multiple monitors or a large screen wall, you can display all the windows simultaneously. Your head must turn left and right, up and down, and you might even take a few steps to switch between windows. You need physical movement. This might seem more cumbersome, so why bother? Paul, in her book, cites research indicating that the second method is more conducive to brain function. Imagine having a widescreen of 1 meter by 2.7 meters with 31.5 million pixels. Studies show that such a large display improves the average speed of subjects performing basic visual tasks by 10 times, and increases the completion speed of more challenging tasks like pattern finding by 200% to 300%. Moreover, facing a large screen prompts higher-level thinking, leading to more comprehensive viewpoints. This happens because a large screen demands movement. Moving around adds a spatial location to the information in front of your eyes. Recording spatial locations is an instinctive operation for the brain, effortlessly performed without consuming cognitive resources. Mapping new information to spatial locations significantly deepens your memory of that information. This is why, when you walk while listening to an audiobook, you easily recall a specific part and associate it with the location where you were at that time. Spatial location provides a convenient anchor for information. When you need to recall information, your body offers an intuitive and effortless navigation. In contrast, using a small screen means various pieces of information have no anchor points. They must be directly mapped in your brain, which is not only laborious, but also prone to distortion. Our brains are accustomed to the idea that different windows switch in front of our eyes. We are better suited to go to the place where what we need is located. This is not just a method. It represents a deeper truth. You shouldn't treat the brain like a machine. Instead, use it as a living, personality-driven entity, and go along with its preferences. The counterintuitive aspect of the large screen example is that, despite making more movements, you actually reduce the cognitive burden on the brain. In fact, many scientific methods of using the brain operate on this principle. For example, using gestures. We know that making gestures during a speech can better express meanings, but many may not be aware that gestures are also helpful for learning and enhancing memory. When teachers introduce new concepts, having students use gestures to act out those concepts, like mimicking the structure of a large biomolecule, significantly deepens understanding. Physically portraying something creates a different feeling compared to merely imagining it in your mind. Students in a biology class who used gestures to simulate various anatomical concepts achieved a 42% improvement in test scores, compared to those taught using only terms. This is because making gestures not only provides a visual hook to grasp information, but also comes with the proprioception of the hand, a sense of the body's position in space. Proprioception is also a form of spatial awareness, allowing new information to be attached to it, thus enhancing memory. Professional actors can memorize several pages of dialogue easily, because they first design body movements that complement the lines. Every rehearsal involves synchronizing actions with lines. These concepts bring to mind embodied cognition. Yes, studies cited in this book also demonstrate the strong influence of the body on the brain. We've heard the saying, "It's not love that causes the heartbeat. It's the heartbeat that causes love." Paul references a more radical statement by American psychologist William James. We feel sorry because we cry, angry because we strike, afraid because we tremble. Not the other way around. So, if you want to think more effectively, you need to move your body actively. Even changing from sitting to standing can make your thinking much more agile. In a study where radiologists examined X-rays, sitting doctors identified 85% of abnormalities, while standing doctors found 99%. Considering the adverse effects of prolonged sitting on the body, standing desks are definitely worth a try. The reason standing improves brain performance is that people are more likely to move when standing. They might twist their waist, move their hands, shift their weight from one leg to another. These low-intensity activities enhance your brain's engagement with the current task. Why? Because movement actually frees up cognitive resources in the brain. For the brain, sitting still is not the most natural state. The natural state involves constant movement. The prefrontal cortex of your brain has to continuously send commands to your body to stay still to maintain that stillness, consuming cognitive load. Every child knows this. Making small movements is, in fact, a relief for the brain. Furthermore, activities like walking, a form of moderate intensity exercise, can make your brain more alert and improve concentration. This might be because moderate intensity exercise serves as a mild physiological awakening, increasing blood flow to the brain, speeding up information transmission, and releasing more chemicals that promote neuron regeneration. However, high-intensity exercise, like running, may not be suitable for focused thinking, since you can't concentrate during such activities. But there's a type of thinking that doesn't require focus, and even benefits from not focusing. Creative thinking. The state of running helps you empty your mind, fostering insights that might not be easily reachable. The optimal state is to work while standing. If someone were to observe you working, it should certainly not be a calm and composed posture facing the screen. Perhaps leaning forward and backward at times, vigorously typing on the keyboard, occasionally pacing with hands in pockets, and maybe even some sudden movements. This is why having a relatively independent working environment is crucial. Many companies now advocate for open offices, where everyone is in a large hall, visible to each other. While this layout may promote horizontal communication among employees, it's undoubtedly unfavorable for independent thinking. Our brains need walls around them. Being in an environment where you can see many people, while being visible to many people, makes you very alert. You automatically pay attention to what others are doing, especially if someone is looking at you. This creates a massive cognitive load. The role of walls is to reduce this cognitive burden. To encourage independent thinking, you need an office space that belongs to you, and ideally, it should be decorated according to your preferences. Tim Harford mentioned a study on office layouts in his book. Messy, The Power of Disorder to Transform Our Lives. The conclusion was that the more autonomy you have in arranging your office, the more you can place items randomly, the higher your work efficiency. Paul references this study, emphasizing the importance of this sense of ownership. If you feel it's your territory, your performance will be significantly better. For cognitive workers, the best territory is a private study. The design and decor should align with your preferences, containing your possessions, giving you absolute ownership and control. The items, whether decorations, paintings, memorabilia, symbols, or art, should reflect your identity, not for showing off to guests, but for your own viewing. Because for efficient brain function, you need a stable sense of identity. Everyone has multiple identities, but if you are a writer, you want your study to remind you only of being a writer. A survey found that professionals like engineers and creative directors, in the personal items they place in their workplaces, keep 70% in positions not visible to others. They use these items to remind themselves continually of their goals and values. Neatness is not a desirable quality for cognitive workers. Those who place various unusual items on their desks are the ones who excel at using their brains. Whether it's adding an extra monitor, making a few gestures, moving around, rearranging your office, all these actions require you to do something, yet paradoxically reduce the cognitive burden on your brain, making it more agile. This rule is interesting, indicating that the brain's favorite state is not an extremely minimalistic situation without any disturbances. We prefer natural settings. This also suggests that you need to do something to unlock your brain's full potential. So, go ahead and take action. It's all worthwhile.
If you feel there is value in this, please like, subscribe to this channel, and leave your thoughts or suggestions in the comments section. Let's grow together and read more good books.